Hello, hi, welcome to Cryptic Hybrid, and this is Death Trick Double Blind. Now, Death Trick Double Blind is a visual novel and detective adventure mix in which you will investigate the disappearance of a circus's star magician. Now, this is a prototype, an early build of the game. It's available on itch.io. It looks really cool, so we're gonna check it out together. Morgan's traveling circus is coming to Tolgi. The Amazing Hattie. Show delayed. New dates to be determined. Where's the Amazing Hattie? Ooh. A call from Tolgi. A new case, maybe. So in this game, we're going to have the investigation done from two perspectives, and this is the first one. Alright, this is it. I have to make it work. Come in. Mr. Morgan? An older gentleman sits behind the desk, so engrossed in the documents that he didn't even look up when I came in. Mr. Jones, I've been expecting... He stopped halfway to his sentence when he looked up from the desk. Oh, sorry, I wasn't expecting other visitors. Moses. Moses Morgan is the owner of Morgan's Traveling Circus. It seems like you have me at a disadvantage, Miss... Jacqueline, but you can call me Jackie. Alright, Miss Jackie, is there anything I can do for you? Sometimes conversations can feel like a battle, and you need all the weapons in your arsenal. A good conversationalist can wield every piece of weapon in their collection to do a variety of things: ask questions, give answers, present evidence, spread gossip even. This is your collection. Everything you need for conversation can be found here, separated into three categories: people, items, and information. When the collection screen comes up, click these tabs to the top to sift through the categories. From there, click on a piece of item and click question mark to inquire about the topic and advance the conversation. But keep in mind, conversation is not a single player game. Ask the right questions to the right people and you might get answers. Share the wrong information with the wrong people and it might cause unforeseen consequences. Unforeseen consequences, just like in Half-Life. Alright. So we have situation in the circus about Jackie, the mind-reading act, letter from Hattie, silver handgun, and this is Moses, the character we've met. Okay, so we're gonna... Oh, he asked us who we are, right? Well, let's tell him. I, Jackie, am a magician, a new one, freshly out of the apprenticeship and back from where I studied magic in Europe. So let's tell him about us. Well, I'm just here to audition, of course. You're here to audition? Mm-hmm. I'm a magician and, he didn't let me finish the sentence. You said your name was Jackie. Never heard of a magician with that name. And you know every magician in the country? Well, more or less. If someone like you appeared, I'd have heard by now. We don't just get a lot of female magicians, and that mask on your face is practically asking for gossip. Small circle, huh? I get it. The Europeans are the same way. Oh, so you're European, but your accent? Well, I was born and raised in the States, but I left with my master to France to study magic with him. That was, what, 5, 6 years ago? Oh god, I was just a stupid girl who wanted to learn magic. Now I'm still a stupid girl, but at least I know how to do magic. Anyway, where was I? Ah yes, we toured Europe for a few years and then the war happened. My family was worried about me and insisted on calling me back. So, here I am. I promise you, I'm au fait with everything magic. I'm a professional. Right. I'm sure that's true, but here's the thing. Miss Jackie, I hate to break it to you, but there's no magician job. We are not hiring. Are you sure? Because Oh, because of the situation? The disappearance of the amazing Hattie? Your circus is in a tough place right now. Oh, sorry. Can I go back? I must be careful here. Your star performer has been missing for a week. People are talking, the papers are speculating, and your customers are protesting. You sold your tickets on the promise of seeing a show from the amazing Hattie, the greatest female magician of the decade, but no one got to see her perform. It's the weekend and the big show is coming up. If she still fails to show up... Wait. He cuts me off, his sharp gaze cutting into my pupil. Jackie? What do you want? I already told you, I'm here to audition. You need a magician, quick, and I am one. A wondrous coincidence, wouldn't you say? Yeah, what a coincidence. You'll have to forgive me if I find it hard to believe that a replacement just showed up here and seemed to know more about my business than I do. You won't even show your face. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Everyone knows your business now, right? With the rates these papers are going, everyone from Paris to Tokyo knows about your business by now. Pity. Don't see anyone running it for me. I've been doing this for a few decades. I've been in business for half a century. Let people think they know better. At the end of the day, they are not the ones who have to worry about keeping all my workers fed. Well, if you don't do something about your situation soon, your workers might be in a lot more trouble. No offense, Miss Jackie, but I'm going to need something more than talk to convince me. I have a business to run and a reputation to uphold. How about this? You are here to audition. Do that. Show me an act of yours. Alright, now I just want to see this little thing. The letter from Hattie. J. I guess it's addressed to me. So it was to Jackie. Something's going on in the circus. I need you to watch out. If something happens to me in Tolgi, please go take my place. I can't say more right now, but please, the show has to go on. The amazing Hattie. Okay, but he wanted a trick, so let's show him. My signature trick is a telepathy act. Is it real or is it fake? People often ask. Well, if I can give you the right answers, does it matter if it comes from mystical power or just some good old human trickery? Oh, that makes sense, of course. I do your usual stuff, rabbits in the hat, card tricks, escape hacks, that sort of thing, but my specialty is in mind reading. Mind reading? Or a mind reading act? If you're good enough, there won't be a difference. Alright, try it. You want me to try it on you? You have my permission. Alright, here it goes. Okay. What's going on? Well? I'm trying, but your energy is resisting. Right. I think I'm going to need a stronger connection. Can you give me your hands? He didn't say anything, just laid both of his arms atop the table. I grabbed his wrists. His eyes are calm, his pulse steady. Now say, abracadabra. Seriously? You need to come up with something better than that. See? Your energy, resisting. I can't believe I'm going along with this. Fine, abracadabra. Well, I don't need any magic power to know that what you're thinking right now. If you're trying to buy time, it won't work. Alright. Now I'm just going to ask you a very simple question. You don't have to give me the answer because I'm going to hear it when you think. Sounds good? Go ahead. Are you sure? I can't control my power, so if there's anything you don't want me to know, well actually, now you'll be thinking really hard about them. I've stared down the barrel of a rifle in the jaws of a tiger. I'm sure I can handle a little magic act. Alright, if you're sure. Here comes. Your magician, Hattie. How did she die? Oh? That shook him. His hands in my palms jerked slightly. Seems like he caught his impulse to withdraw his hand. But it's too late. In his initial surprise, his eyes flickered to my chest, giving him away. Something through the heart? A bullet? The corner of his mouth twitched. No, a knife. A knife to the heart. His face turned serious. So she's dead. How? Through mind reading, of course.
Don't give me that.
Well, did I pass your test?
Why are you here? And don't tell me you're just looking for a job. There's a reason I didn't choose to look for a replacement.
Well, the amazing Hattie left behind some big shoes, or should I say big hats to fill.
Do you have any idea what the audience will say to anyone who tries to replace her at this point of time?
I know all that, but what if I told you she wants me to be here?
Because she gave me the letter. Right.
I received this letter a few days ago. I came as soon as I could. Jay, something's going on in the circus. I need you to watch out. If something happens to me in Tolgi, please go take my place. I can't say more right now, but please. The show has to go on. The amazing Hattie. He pored over the letter, brows furrowed.
A letter from Hattie?
Hattie, the amazing Hattie, is the star magician of Morgan's traveling circus until she disappeared earlier this week. When apparently she's dead now.
What? What's she talking about? Something going on in the circus?
Well...
Nothing's going on in my circus. If there's anything, I'd surely know, wouldn't I?
He swore under his breath.
But this means...
She knew she was going to die, right? This means she knew she was going to die. Or at least she knew she was in danger.
As much as it's hard to believe, you're right. But how is that even possible? Why didn't she do anything?
His lips tremored. I can see doubts and the disbelief on his usual impassive face. I feel bad for him, but can I truly rule out that he's a culprit? I cleared my throat, and as if that woke him up, he sat upright and his face returned to neutral. So, the show's coming up, and I think there's a reason Hattie called me to take her place. We have a great opportunity here.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand. I'm sure you're a great magician, but at this point I'm afraid no replacement can meet the audience's expectations.
Well, good thing I'm not here to replace her then. I'm here to become her.
Huh?
Let's talk about the plan.
What plan?
How many people know about the truth of Hattie's disappearance?
You mean how many people know she's dead? No need to sugarcoat it to spare my feelings.
Fine. Who knows?
Well, for now, only people working in the circus. Also the police.
So everyone in the circus knows?
Perhaps not the regular workers, but the performers definitely all know. Given that they all work together on a daily basis, it's kinda hard to keep it from them.
How many people is that exactly?
Well, we have 7 performers, so discounting Hattie, that's 6. And there's also our mechanic, who works closely with the performers.
6 performers, 1 mechanic, and you. So 8 people in total.
That's right.
Alright, that's good. This is going to work.
Would you please just get to the point?
Well, let's say, hypothetically, what if Hattie was not dead after all? I could pinpoint the exact moment his face switched from confusion to understanding.
You're going to be Hattie.
Well, let's say the reason for her disappearance is that her face got injured in a practice accident and now she has to wear a mask to cover up the scars.
You had this all planned from the beginning, didn't you?
Well, I am a magician.
I'm not going to lie. To have Hattie come back, at least until we get the big shows out of the way, would certainly solve a lot of my problems right now. But I cannot in good conscience agree to this plan of yours.
What? Sorry, what? Why? Come on, don't tell me you're sticking to some bullcrap about not lying to the audience or something. In case you haven't noticed, deception is kind of the nature of our trade.
No, well, that's not ideal, but I don't think it's breaking any non-existent code of ethics or anything.
Then why in the world would you say no? Do you enjoy being grilled by the press and customers every damn day? He crossed his arms, becoming defensive.
I don't know if this has occurred to you, Miss Jackie, but the killer is still out there. This crazy plan of yours will surely draw their attention, and therefore put you in mortal danger.
Oh, you're worried about me? That's real sweet, but don't you worry about me, I can take care of myself.
You don't understand. I will not have another death happen under my watch.
Trust me, nothing's going to happen.
How can you be so sure?
Think about it. Whoever killed her was definitely counting on her to get out of the way, for something. So my appearance is going to put a wrench in their plan. If it were you, what would you do?
I have no idea.
You'd panic, scramble to come up with something new, right? That's when you make mistakes. A magician should never do a trick when you think someone's seen through it.
So you want to, what? Talk to everyone so that and see what their reaction is? How's that gonna help?
Mind reader here, remember? I'm not some detective with a magnifying glass concerned about footprints or crime scenes. I deal with matters of the heart. Whoever did this must have done it for a reason. Why? What was their relationship with Hattie? Do they feel guilty, or cocky, or relieved? One may keep their evidence of their crime hidden, but their heart will always remember what their mind has tried to forget. So, if I ask them about Hattie, feelings will emerge, and I think some interesting things might come up.
Are you absolutely sure about this?
I'm fully aware of the risks. Besides, who am I to throw away someone's dying wish? The show must go on, and when the person who walks in the shadow decides to come out, rest assured I have plenty of tricks up my sleeve to deal with them. Like my silver handgun. Or should I say, up my dress?
Whoa, what are you?
He quickly turned his head around to avoid looking. No, look. I tapped on the metal of the gun in my leg holster.
Oh.
Yep. What do you say?
Alright. But the first sign of trouble, I'm pulling you out.
Awesome. The plan is a go. Now, let's talk logistics.
Alright, first things first, this thing we are doing, I'll have to explain to the rest of the crew. They know about Hattie, so it'll be crazy if they see you showing up out of nowhere.
Of course, but you might want to leave out a few details.
Yes, I'll just tell them it's my idea to get someone to play her to tie us over until the shows are finished.
The switcheroo. I'm going to take Hattie's place by impersonating her. This will placate circus customers angry over Hattie's disappearance and maybe, I think, draw out the person behind Hattie's death. Moses will tell the performers that it was his idea to hire me.
Second, I think you might pass as her from afar, but you are going to need everything on your side for everyone to believe it, especially with all the scrutiny you are going to be under. It will help if you are in something familiar. You'll need to change into her costume.
I was going to ask about that.
You need to go find Alice, our mechanic.
Oh, the one that you said works closely with the performance? The one that knows about...
Yes, Alice is in charge of our stage props and costumes. She also helps with pretty much everything that has to do with show arrangements. She's the only one besides the performers that knows what happened to Hattie. I'm sorry, but I can't leave the office. I'm expecting someone important. I'll write you a note. She'll understand when she sees it. And here's the map. This time of day, Alice is definitely backstage. See, a little tent right behind the big top. Just introduce yourself and she'll help you with the costume and anything you need for your performance tonight.
I can do that.
Now, for the last thing. We do the big show at 7 every night and you need to be ready for your performance. You need to come to the backstage at 7 to get ready. Now, it's absolutely imperative that you don't go wandering around in public areas before the show starts.
Got it. Can't spoil the surprise, right?
Well, we are walking a tightrope here. We can't let anyone spot you in an uncontrolled environment.
Of course. Is that all?
Yes. Get into costume. Don't let the public spot you. Come backstage at 7 for the big show. And remember that the performers know about the ruse. If you can manage these things, maybe we'll manage to pull off this crazy plan of yours.
You are a great magician in your own way.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
Alright, unless you have anything else to ask me, you need to be on your way.
Okay, so the plan is in motion. With Jackie. Now, we switch to our second character, who's actually a detective, so, you know. My head hurts. Where am I? What? Alright. Tolgi, think. Someone clearly did this to me. I need to find them and do something. I need to figure out where I am and how I got here. But first things first, I'm going to need some pants. Oh, huh. He doesn't have pants. Really? Did I have to take my jacket and pants too? What was I wearing again? Shit, I can't remember. That can't be good. Why can't I remember? Is it a concussion? Whatever I was wearing, it's probably not worth much. Whoever took them must be desperate. Robbery victim. I woke up in a corner behind the trains without my money or my clothes, but with some fresh head trauma. I think I was knocked out by a robber looking to make some extra cash. Okay, alright, don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later. At least this guy left me with the undershirt and shorts, and some dignity. I got up from the ground slowly, cradling my poor head. As I stood up, something small fell to the ground. A bobby pin. Must have fallen out of my pocket when they took my jacket off. Bobby pin. A double pronged hairpin. Useful if you have a woman trying to hold your hair in place, or if you're a detective that needs something inconspicuous to pick locks with. These were in short supply during the war due to metal rationing efforts. Now freshly awakened, I stood awkwardly in my undergarments in a place I don't know. I took a peek around the corner. Thankfully, there doesn't seem to be that many people around. I stepped out from the back of the train cars and looked around. Huh. I have a feeling I'm not in San Francisco anymore. No, definitely not. What was I doing in a circus of all places? I looked around to see if there's any passerby that can give me some much needed information. Unfortunately, the whole wide field is occupied with nothing but the early autumn chill air. But I spotted something in the distance, a payphone booth next to the train station. Right, I can call Ruth. Hopefully she can tell me something about the case I was working on. I rubbed my arms for some heat and headed to the phone booth. It is really that cold, or is it just me feeling naked? I ducked into the phone booth and closed the door. Let's hope Ruth has some good news for me. At least tell me I have a hotel room nearby with some clothes or something. Ah, shit, I'm an idiot. Of course I don't have a cent on me. Cause, well, I don't have any money, I know, you know. Shit. No one around to help either. Maybe I'll get lucky and somebody forgot to collect their change? Ah, no dice. Okay, only one way left then. All I need is to ground the transmitter and the circuit will work. Just like if a coin had passed through it. I need something metal and small. Okay, so that's us, Detective Jones, private investigator. That's our character. We're the robbery victim, we have the bobby pin, and no characters. So let's use the bobby pin on the phone. Come on. Dialing. What city, please? San Francisco, California, please. The number for Jones's Investigative Services, Jones on Market Street. Checking under Jones's Investigative Services, Jones on Market Street. Connecting. Hello? Jones's Investigative Services, how can I help you? Well, let's talk to her. Ruth, it's me. Mr. J? You finally made it to Tulgi? What took you so long? I thought you were supposed to be there yesterday. Don't tell me you got pulled into some weird shenanigans again. This time, it's not my fault, I think. What do you mean, you think? Well... Remember that time in Providence? Time in Providence? You got drugged again? I thought you promised to be careful with that sort of thing. What business did you poke your nose into this time? Is it even related to the case? No, I didn't get drugged again, that's ridiculous. I know better now. This time they just did the good old-fashioned way by whacking me over the head. Really hard, I think. So, I kinda lost memory of a few things. Oh, I see, like Providence, huh? Well, at least you remember your name and this number, so that's something. Yeah, I guess that's something. What's the situation over there? You okay? Do you need me to call someone to help you? No, I'm fine. I mean, I need to find something to wear really fast and it's kinda getting cold out here. I think whoever hit me took the wallet too, unless I didn't have it with me, which seems unlikely. and my head kinda hurts. I think it might be a concussion, can't be sure. I don't remember where I was staying, and if I need money to get there, then I'm kinda fucked. I kinda made this call illegally too, since again, I don't have any money on me, but it's just 2 cents, I'm sure the painful company can survive. So, yeah, but other than that, yeah, I'm great. Sounds like quite a day. So the last thing I remember was when I was in San Francisco. I'd wager I missed a few days. I'm gonna need some catch up if you don't mind. Mr. J, with the amount of time your brain got tossed around in your skull, it's a wonder you still have a mind left, let alone to be a detective. Well, that's why I'm the best person for the job. You just tell yourself that. So, I assume I'm here for a job. I remember something about a call from Tolgi. That was like 4 or 5 days ago. Seriously? Whoever knocked you out must have gotten a good hit. Alright, I think I know the basics. I can give you a basic rundown of the case. Okay. Let's see client first. So, who's the client? Yes, our client is Moses Morgan, the owner of Morgan's magical traveling circus. Alright, anything else we need to know about Mr. Morgan? Not much. He's not the usual P.T. Barnum type. From what I can gather, he's not really one for the spotlight, but he seems to have a good rep in the business. No one seems to have any big issues against him. Which could either be a good sign or a very bad sign. Well, I guess you're going to find out. Alright, so what happened to the circus? At the circus. The circus magician, the amazing Hattie, is missing. Since when? Since Monday, so it's been almost a week. So it's been way past 48 hours. Why didn't they call the police? Well, from what I understand, they did. But? So, why me? Well, you'll have to ask the client himself. Okay, I guess I need to talk to the client as soon as... Oh, sorry, that's Jones. Alright, I guess I need to talk to the client as soon as possible. Or maybe I already did? What a thought. I can't well go see him dressed like this. Please tell me you know where I'm supposed to be staying at. Of course, it's not like you ever booked the room yourself. You're supposed to be staying at the motel nearby on Shermer Road. It's right next to the circus. You should find it with no trouble. Okay. I can probably find some change of clothes there. Unless the guy who hit you also swiped your room key and went there. If that's the case, someone there would probably remember. Can't hurt to check. Alright, that's the plan for now. Motel, put some clothes on, and then talk to the circus boss. I'll get on it. Thanks, Ruth. I'll see you when I get back to San Fran. And say hi to Steve for me. Don't let him steal too many sandwiches. Be careful. Wait not till your mother hears about this young man. I was hoping to avoid that. You should know better by now. That woman knows everything. At least hold off on tattling to her until I get the chance to do it myself, please. Sure, you're the boss. Wait, one more thing before you go. What? Be careful with this, with doing your detective thing in the circus. Yep, we already covered that. My head will remain intact for the rest of this investigation, I promise you. I don't mean to be careful with yourself. That's a lost cause at this point. I mean, be careful with the circus people. What do you mean? Look, I had a cousin who was in the circus back in the day. The carnies, it's almost like they have their own little secret society. They're insanely guarded to those that they seem as outsiders. They'll cooperate if they have to, but they'll never actually tell you anything useful if they don't trust, well, if they don't at least respect you. So don't go all the way in doing your thing. What thing? I don't have a thing. You know, you're you. And that might make them anxious. What does that mean exactly? I can hear her sigh onto the phone. You know, you look like someone that might arrest them. But I'm not a cop. Just be more gentle, okay? Try getting them to trust you. That's easier said than done. I know. Alright, Ruth told me that carnies are notoriously guarded to outsiders, thus making my investigation difficult. Never mind, I'm sure it will all work out. Now anything else, boss? Nope. You better go then, lots of work to do. Sometimes I think she only pretends to call me boss. I mentally prepare myself and open the payphone booth again. I peeked my head out to see if there's anyone around, but this time I spotted someone holding something awfully familiar. That looks a lot like my wallet, and the stranger, the robber probably, is now looking through it. I approached them quietly, formulating a plan in my head. He must be something like 7 feet tall, with wide shoulders and arms like the barrel of cannons. As I'm moving closer behind him, it's like the sky has darkened with all the light he blocked out. No wonder he managed to knock me out. I'm not too egotistical to admit it. I probably, no, most definitely lose if I go up against him physically. And clearly, I don't have any handy weapon on me. There's no one around to help. That leaves me with very few options right now. Alright, I see, confront him with righteous anger, snatch the wallet out of his hand, or try to negotiate. Let's negotiate? I reached out to pat him on the shoulder. Damn, he's really tall. Hey. He whipped around in alert, almost tipping over himself. Despite his stature, he's obviously quite young, probably in his early 20s. Huh? Didn't think I'd wake up that quickly, did you? Joke's on you, this isn't my first rodeo about being robbed. What? Shh, listen, you don't want to make a scene, do you? I don't? So, how about this? I'll let you keep the cash, but I need the rest of the wallet back. There's some personal things that they're worth nothing to you, but I like to keep them. What? I'm not going to... did you say that this is your wallet? Come on, you just took them from me, right? And where did you put my clothes? You already hid them? No, I didn't do anything like that. I think you have the wrong person. I just found the wallet on the ground. Look, just over there, outside of the train car. I was just checking inside to see if there's any name or something. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding. He scratched his head and laughed it off, eyes now filled with concern. Hey, don't worry about that. I'm sorry, what happened to you? I think someone knocked me out and took all my clothes and stuff. So when I woke up and saw you holding my wallet, well, in my defense, my head is still fuzzy, probably because of the concussion. You sure this is your wallet? You checked inside, right? It probably has my name card in it, Jones Investigative Services from San Francisco. He opened the wallet and pulled out the card. Yep, that's me. When mystery surfaces, call Jones Investigative Services. We need a new slogan. And over there in the pocket, because of my trade, I don't keep family photos in my wallet, but there should be a photo of my cat. It says thief on it. Aww. What does it say, thief? Well, that's his name. My friend found it funny because I'm a detective. He looked at the photo and smiled. Aww, little guy. His gaze lingered on the photo for a few seconds, but he still managed to put everything back into the wallet and hand it back to me. Well, sorry about that. Here you go. I looked inside the wallet. There's a name card, the photo, and surprisingly about $20 in cash with a few quarters lying around too. That's not a small amount of money. Probably a week's worth of salaries for an average worker. It's an old and beaten. It's old and beaten down, but it's mine. Huh. So there's still money. So they didn't want to rob me? There's still 20 bucks in here. Yeah, you said you were robbed? Something doesn't make sense here. Sometimes you might realize that the information you have doesn't add up. Someone might be lying, or you might be making the wrong assumptions. That's where another part of your collection, contradict, comes in. Choose 2 items from the collection that contradict each other to point out the logical inconsistency and get to the bottom of the question. One more note, you'll still be presenting contradictions to people. Note who you're talking to. If they know nothing about what you're talking about, then the contradiction won't matter to them. Now, what 2 pieces of information or evidence doesn't add up here? Try using contradict in your collection to point them out. So instead of inquire, we have contradiction. So, no, the contradiction would be robbery, would be the robbery and then the wallet, because there's still money in the wallet. Yeah, I thought whoever did this must have been looking for money, but there's still cash in my wallet. That should be the first thing to take, right? Perhaps they didn't see the wallet fall on the ground? And that's why they took my clothes, because they didn't manage to find any money? You said you found it by the train? Yeah, it was just out there. I don't think someone would miss it if they were looking for it. I'm surprised someone else didn't find it and took it already, actually. Luckily, not a ton of circus customers come around here. Okay, interesting. So it might not be about the money at all. I should correct my previous theory. Mysterious attack. Okay, so seems like someone whacked me really hard over the head, knocked me out and took all of my stuff, except for my wallet, which still had money in it. What were they trying to do? Why would they take the clothes? Yeah. If, let's say, this is not for the money, then for what? Maybe they're just trying to embarrass you? Like a prank? Well, I'm certainly embarrassed. Can you think of anyone who might have it out for you? Funny, this is usually my line. Right, you're a detective. You can solve the case yourself, right? Maybe. My enemies. There are too many to count, really. But I don't think they let me off this easy. You call this easy? Well, I'm still alive and no missing limbs or fingers, so yeah. It's almost like they're not targeting me personally. Maybe I had something important on me, some evidence, and they had to take it? I'm more and more curious about this case at the circus. And speaking of the circus, there's one more thing I want to ask you. You work here, right? Yeah, how did you... Well, the gloves and the scars. At first I thought you'd just been in a lot of night fights, because, you know, the robber thing. But once I realized that's not true, you also said not a lot of customers come around here, which implies you are not one of them. Once I got that, well, circus worker with a lot of scars. Animal trainer is the obvious answer? That's so smart. Is that what detectives can do? Well, don't be too nice, considering I got things very wrong in the first try. Sorry for the whole assuming you are a criminal thing, by the way. I blame the concussion for that. Oh, by the way, my name's Rolf. Our circus is called Morgan's Traveling Circus. Rolf is the animal trainer at Morgan's Traveling Circus, so he would know about Hattie. Of course he is. Looks like this won't be the last time I see of him. Nice to meet you, Rolf. And you've seen my card. I'm a detective. People usually just call me Jones. Your boss is Moses Morgan, right? Yeah, have you heard of him? Well, you could say that. He's my client, actually, I think. He hired a detective? Oh, are you here about Hattie? I believe so, yes. Oh, wait. What if whoever attacked you is... I don't want to make any assumptions yet. Alright, this is such a mess. Well, if you're looking for the boss, he's always in the small square tent over there by the other end of the train car. But you should probably put on something first. Do you have anything to wear? I'll be fine. I have a motel room nearby with some of my luggage. And thanks to you, I have my wallet back, so I can get some clothes for myself if I need to. Alright, let me know if you need anything else. He hesitated and offered quietly. I need to go, but you can come talk to me later if you want to. You may find me in the Big Top at 1 PM or Ferry at 2 PM. I have shows scheduled then. Alright, I promise. Thanks for the help, really. I appreciate it. I bid Rolf goodbye and turned around. This is going to be a fun walk. What was the address Ruth gave me again? Schumer Road? No. Shermer Road, I think it was? Okay. Well, time passes. And we switch back to Jackie. Right? Alright. Moses asked me to go find Alice at the backstage. What did he say again? The small stand behind the big top? Okay, so this is the map. We have train cars. We have the office, fortune teller, the fair, stables, big top, and the backstage. There we go. Backstage is actually just a small tent behind the big performance tent. I slipped in from the back and pulled the curtain. It's not exactly tidy, but it's not the mess I expected at all. It's a splash of loud colors competing for attention, from outlandish costumes to wildly patterned fabrics. Various fantasy-looking stage props are piled around the small room, making it look like some sort of fairy tale storage facility. I cleared my throat. Ahem. A tiny girl, young woman, slid from behind one of the big boards that was obscuring her. A string of soft clinking and clattering followed her movements as tools rattled around her pockets. She eyes me up and down, obviously wondering if I'm supposed to be here, but seems to decide against speaking first. You must be Alice? She nodded. Alice. Alice is the mechanic of Morgan's traveling circus. She works closely with all the performers and handles a variety of tasks, from making costumes and props to managing show arrangements. Great, I'm Jackie.
Well, she doesn't know who I am.
What are you doing here?
Well, let's present ourselves.
As I speak, I can feel her getting more anxious, taking glances towards the door. Sorry, this is for circus staff only. You don't have permission to be here. I need you to leave. Right, I should probably tell her about my plan with Moses first.
Okay, the switcheroo.
Mr. Morgan asked me to come here. Here's a note from him. You'll understand after you read it. I hand her the note. She quickly scanned it, as if she couldn't believe what was written, carefully parsed the note again. I'm surprised that the paper is not going into spontaneous combustion from the intensity of her disbelieving gaze. Is everything okay? Huh? Is everything okay? Oh, yeah. It's okay, I guess. She stared at the ground, silent for a long while. I just can't believe it. What is he thinking? Dressing someone up like her? He didn't even tell us about this. Sorry to spring this up on you. I can't imagine what you feel like. Were you pretty close? This must be weird. You don't feel like her. Well, that's because I'm not. I'm just going to pretend for a bit. Are you okay? This just doesn't feel real. And then I thought, how did it even come to this? This is really going to work? Well, we'll see. But first, I have to get into costume, so to speak. Right. Moses asked me to help with the costume. She looked me up and down. I had the old one, but I think you'll fit in it. Can I make some measurements? Sure. I'm still stuck on the awkwardness of the conversation we're just having, but for her, it's like once word comes up, all previous problems were discarded and she started moving with purpose. Almost before she even heard my response, she's already rummaging through her little pouch and pulling out the tape measure. Can you stand still with your back to the shelf over there? I need to see how tall you are. She charged towards the corner with the large shelf and started clearing a place to stand. Yeah, let's just move the eye out of the way. You can stand here on the right side. Back straight, please. Like that. I stood with my back to the shelf as she pinned one of the tape measurements under the bottom of the shelf and tried stretching it to the top of my head. With her 5'3" stature, she had to resort to getting on the stairs next to the shelf. Okay, something around 5'8". Hattie was 5'7". I could have told you that. My height, I mean. Sorry, I just like to measure things myself. She pulled the tape measure back and pulled out another one from her pouch, a soft one, and quickly took measurements of my shoulder and waist. Hold your arms straight to the side. With a tape measure in her hand and numbers whispered in her mouth, she now looks so much more assured and comfortable making commands, like she's in her own zone. Alright, I'm done now. I let out the breath I've been holding and relaxed my hands. She's jotting down something quickly on a notepad while clearly forming a plan in her head. I was worried because I definitely won't have enough time for a completely new costume before tonight, but I think we'll get away with doing a few adjustments on her. I mean, on the costume we already have. And I think wearing her dress will help you with convincing people too, so yeah. Okay. Your shoulders and waist are a little wider, but I can add a little lacing around the back to give you some breathing space. It's covered by the ruffles. I don't think people are going to notice. What's your shoe size? I'm not sure. How can you not be sure? I don't remember that stuff. Besides, are measurements in the States different? Right, you were in Europe or something. She ducked into the pile of stuff on the other side of the room and came out with a pair of purple high heels. How's this size for you? I sat down on the stairs and tried squeezing my foot in. My toes are screaming because the shoes are not fitting. And then my throat hurts. I feel like one of Cinderella's evil stepsisters, because, you know, the shoes doesn't fit. Yeah, you're a little bit taller than her, so maybe you don't need the heels. Let me see. She scanned the room and gave herself a little ha when she found a pair of all black high over-the-knee boots from the corner. I think these were Chip's actually, but he's a short guy. Try these on. Let me know if it's too large. I can add some insoles or stuff in them. I slipped them on and my toes immediately felt liberated. Ah, thank you. This feels so much better. But the color, does this go with the costume? Black goes with everything. Wait, I think I have some of the dress fabric left. I'll glue it onto the boots. I sat there while Alice worked her quick magic on the dress and the boots. I just stared dumbly while she went through a set of complicated steps with scissors and needles and glue. It's oddly peaceful watching everything come together. And before I knew it, the adjustments are done. Alright, can you try these on and let me know how they fit? In a blink of an eye, she laid out the dress, the boots, a pair of gloves, a top hat, all on the sofa. Like, here? What do you mean? It's backstage. Oh, you mean like in front of me? Sorry, we don't really have a changing room or anything. I'll look away if you want. I'm just going to change behind this big cardboard, okay? I ducked behind the little board. I had to crouch to fit myself behind it, and crouching was not a good position to put on a dress. Do you, need help? You know, with a lacing or something? I can hear her, clearing her throat uncomfortably. Clearly not keen on it, but probably felt compelled to ask out of obligation. No, I'm good. Almost done. With some awkward, shuffling, I'm pretty sure I finally got everything on. I'm just not sure I could get out of it without some significant wiggling. Alright, I'm done. Alice looked me up and down with a kind of dazed look in her eyes. Hattie. Alice? Yes, everything feels okay? Everything's fine. Great, actually. That's it then, I think. Do you want to take a look? She gestures to the makeup mirror. Mirrors, because they're moldable. I peeked. Perfect. I could hardly recognize myself. Whoa. Looks... I know, with the costume and the mask? Maybe people who don't know her will really believe it. Well, that's a big relief. Hattie's costume, a complete magician's getup with top hats and canes. The dress is pretty modest for circus standards, but the ruffles and colors are still quite flattering. I just need to not think too much about the fact that I'm technically wearing a dead person's clothes. So, I'd be keeping this for the big show tonight? Oh, that reminds me. What sets are you planning to do tonight? Do you need anything for props? Huh. Well, I'm trying to figure it out actually. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? What does that have to do with the performance? Well, you see, I'm new here, and the boss is apparently busy, so he didn't tell me much about everything that's going on. I can't decide on what to do if I don't have the full picture of the circus and what the audience will expect and what you can do, can I? I don't think that's how it works. Come on, we'll just chat a little bit like friends. Unless you're busy, I can come back later. No, it's fine. I need to help with something at 11, but we have some time to chat, I guess. Aw, thank you so much, Yuri. You're a sweetheart. What? You... is that French? Never mind, I don't even want to ask. Just... what do you want to talk about? Now, time doesn't wait for anyone. In one time block, you only have limited chances to take action before the time runs out. This is measured in action points. You can see how many are remaining in the top left, so it's 4 left right now. Performing actions such as using the collection to inquire or contradict will cost action points. So think strategically about what you want to spend your AP on. The time block will end automatically when your AP runs out, so don't forget to keep an eye on it. Now, we have to inquire, right? Let's inquire about Hattie, right? Because we need to know about her performance, like her tricks. I figured since I'm going to be her, I better know a bit more about her, right? Did you know her pretty well? No, not really. Really? Moses said you work closely with all the performers. I guess I know about the performance stuff, but there are probably many things about her that I don't know about. Come on, you worked together for years, and judging by your earlier reactions, I'd wager you care a great deal about her now. Maybe I do. So, just tell me about her. What kind of person was she? What kind of performance was she good at? She's a really good magician. What stuff does she do usually? You know, for reference. Well, rope tricks and card stuff, I guess. Is that all? I would think the greatest female magician of the decade would have something, you know, bigger for the big circus performance. Her eyes snapped up. She bit her lip, suddenly looking infuriated. What do you even know anyway? Seems like I've touched a sore spot. Well, I'm a magician too, you know. Well, you have your thing, she has hers. You just don't know. You should see her performing with Aideen. The crowds love them. She has an assistant or something? No, Aideen is our fire performer, but Hattie needed someone for the... What? Do they do a disappearing act or something? She paused as if something is stuck in her throat. The knife throwing act. Aha! One of Hattie's signature performances was the knife throwing act, which she performs with Aideen as her partner. Impressive. Well, she's a great performer. Right. Okay. Well, tell me more about the act. Do you make the performance props for Hattie too? Like the props for the knife throwing act? For the most part, yeah. It's nothing hard though, it's just a big wooden board and a few flying knives that I had to custom order from a blacksmith. Oh, Hattie didn't have the knives herself? Why would she? Well, if it's an act that she's learned before, wouldn't she have something for practice? It's not. She's never done this one before in the other circuses. Oh, that's interesting. Is it something new that she picked up? Well, she said she just didn't have the right partner to make it happen. Oh, her partner for the act. Aideen, right? I guess it's not easy to find that kind of trust, so that kind of partner is hard to come by. She looked away, her fingers tapping against her heart absentmindedly. Yeah, the right kind of partner. What else should we ask? Because we still have 2 action points. This is a great costume. Did you make it for her? Yeah, I mean, it's just a dress. Yeah, but it's a magician's dress. Not a lot of people have done that before. Of course, they were all men. So was it your idea to wear the top hat with the dress? No, that was all Hattie. All the old school magicians, they wear suits and top hats and gentleman stuff, you know? So when she started out, she just wore what ladies wore. Fancy evening dresses and stuff. But those were a bother to move around, and she had quite a bit of trouble taking care of them. Turns out, cramped train compartments are not the best places to store fancy dresses. So she said, why don't we wear something a little bit more modern? The hourglass silhouette is in fashion, so maybe something with a bit of shoulders and a pencil skirt? I was worried it wouldn't look like a magician's outfit. You wouldn't look like that, you wouldn't look at the dress alone and scream magician, right? Well, seems like a reasonable concern. No, you know what she said? She said, but no one would look at a woman's dress and say magician anyway, so what she wore didn't matter. She had a point. She said, I don't need them to look at the dress and say magician. When I'm done with the performance, they will look at me and say, that's a magician. Wow, I know. And that's when she became ringmaster too. So she said, skip the other stuff, I'll just wear the hat with the dress. Sounds like she had a lot of her own ideas. Yeah, that's Hattie, always thinking of something new, always looking for the new angle. She sighed. Take care of her costume, okay? Okay, now... should I... Let's ask about her, maybe she's gonna be more, I don't know... More... Actually, maybe not. Let's about the situation, yeah, let's do that first. Maybe it's too much for just one day to ask her personal stuff. So, this whole Hattie situation seems to be the talk of the town. I know, it's been crazy. So if you don't mind me asking, how's it been affecting the business? Are people really returning their tickets and stuff? I don't really know, it's not for me to worry about. But this whole thing just seems so wrong. I remember a time when the circus, when a circus coming to town would be the biggest thing ever. People would drive for hours and contract boats just to come see the performance. Kids would try to sneak in or do all kinds of odd jobs for them so they'll give us a free ticket. So then we'd go see the elephants and the acrobat ladies. It was magical. But it seems like people are just less impressed with what we do these days, you know? It seems like they're all expecting people to be shot out of cannons or birds that will turn into snakes or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too... It just seems like they don't really understand what the circus is about. I don't really know about the number stuff, but the boss doesn't seem to be worried about it, so I guess it's fine. I don't really care if it makes a ton of money or just enough. As long as we can keep going, I'll be here. She looked away for a few seconds, leaving silence in the air. I can tell she's getting a bit tired with these questions and dealing with a stranger. Sorry, I don't mean to keep you. Did you say you had to do something? She took a discreet little sigh of relief and replied with more spirit. Look, this has been... I hope I helped, but I really gotta go. There's a puppet performance at the fair area for the next hour, so I need to go find Echo and check if the Calliope is working, whatever that is. I should be done in an hour or so. If you have any more questions or anything you need, you can come back to find me. Okay, thanks a lot for your help. Well, we got our costume. We're becoming Hattie. Now, back to the detective, back to Jones. And 5 action points. Right? I made my way to the hotel, trying my best not to draw attention to my attire. Luckily, it was a quick walk, and I think everyone was too enthralled by the circus to pay attention to some homeless looking guy. The people at the hotel recognized me. I told them my key was stolen, so they gave me a new key to my room. After they billed me for it, of course. With all the trouble and the humiliation and the physical peril, this job better pay like Rockefeller himself hired me. What Ruth feared didn't happen. My room seems undisturbed. I quickly put on some change of clothes and started surveying the room. The key to good detective work is observation. When you see the magnifier icon on the left side, it means you can enter investigation mode. It will cost you 1 action point to enter investigation mode, but once you're in investigation mode, you can move your mouse around and look at everything in the scene. All notable items will be highlighted when your mouse hovers over them. Click on the item to get a detailed description. Sometimes, if something is particularly worth noting, they might be added as an item into your collection. When you're done, click on the exit icon in the same place to exit investigation mode. Alright, so let's investigate. A generic hotel nightstand. Okay. The first thing I checked was the drawers. They're all empty. The ashtray is conspicuously empty too. Either they cleaned it out, which would probably make them a motel with the best service in the world, or I never smoked in this room. Also, he smokes. Finally, I never thought I'd miss the feeling of clothes on my skin so much. Most of my luggage are still cleanly folded in the suitcase. I don't even remember what I packed. It looks like a few days worth of clothes and some of my tools. Ropes, handcuffs, binoculars and the like. Don't think I need them on this occasion though. A map of the local area and a phone book. Looks like I was doing a little research upon arrival. My trench coat. It's good for rainy weather, it's breathable and light, it blends in easily in the crowd, and, perhaps most important of all, it looks great. And people wonder why my wardrobe is full of them. What's this? Some sort of flyer? I picked it up for a closer look. It's an advertising flyer for the circus. Morgan's Traveling Circus. That's the one. Painted on here are an elephant and a dancing horse, an acrobat and a juggler, and prominently displayed in the front in a is a dark-haired woman in a purple ruffled dress holding a top hat. That's our missing Hattie, well, our dead Hattie. The text in front proclaims, "Performance every night by the amazing Hattie." I think that's our missing person. Alright, we got the flyer. Now, what else? I guess nothing else? Alright. I think that was it. Alright, I think it's time to meet the client, which would be... Are we done? When you see this map icon on the left side, it means you can choose to move to another location. Simply click on the map to open it and choose on the map which location you wish to go to. In the future, you'll also be able to choose which location you want to go to in the beginning of every turn. Those don't cost any action points. However, if you wish to move from one location to another in the middle of the turn, it will cost you 1 action point. Alright, so we got 4 action points left, and we need to go see the client. Do we have any... Okay, magician and detective. So Jackie has experience, 25, well, Jones, nothing. Okay, so this is the schedule, and it shows the characters, where they are at each time of day. Moses, Hattie, Alice, Aideen. Ooh. The fire performer at Morgan's Traveling Circus. Aideen acts as Hattie's partner in Hattie's knife throwing act. Who will take the bait? What could be the killer's real motive? Okay. Reward. Plus 25 XP for each person, additional 100 XP for completion. Oh, if we ask about Hattie. Getting into character. Okay. This is what we got, right? Because we got into character. Right, that was the thing. That we got 20 XP for. Okay, so let's go to the office. Come in. I can't be sure if I already talked to him. Let him make the first move. What business brings you here, Mr. Jones? I'm Mr. Jones. No, not I need to inquire. So that would be... Well, I'm gonna present myself. Well, I should ask you. After all, it was you who called us, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Jones? From San Francisco? Yes. There we go. I understand I'm here to investigate the disappearance of your magician? Well, not quite. You see, there were a few details I didn't want to mention over the phone. I was hoping to just let you know in private when you get here. Yes, to be honest, I was expecting you to be here a little earlier. The situation has evolved since the call was made to you. I apologize, there was an incident. Anyway, what do you mean, not quite? Do you know where she is? He sighed. I trust that there's no need to say this conversation must remain strictly confidential. Yes, of course. Well, there's no easy way to say it, but Hattie's not missing. She's dead. Well, that's certainly one rather significant detail that you left out. Sorry, but I hope you understand. We don't really have another choice. The circus isn't really to handle the consequences of that announcement, particularly when we still don't even know why it happened and who did it. But you're sure it's murder?
Yes, she was found with a knife in her chest. Alright. Okay. Let's ask about the victim. Did she have any enemies? Anyone you know that hated her? Enough to kill her? That's hard to imagine. The circus performs together everywhere. It's a close-knit group. Group? This group of people has been working with each other for a few years and nothing has seemed out of the ordinary. Could it be someone outside the circus? Well, we never stayed in one place for too long. It's unlikely that they had any deep entanglements with anyone outside. Do you think one of your own did it? I don't know what to think, detective. Is there anyone in particular that you might have a reason to do that might have a reason to do something like this? No, not at all. I don't think any of my team would do something like this. They're all good kids. With all due respect, if I had a nickel every time someone said that to me and ended up being proven dead wrong, I wouldn't need to be doing this job. I know. Why else do you think I called you? I understand that my judgment might be flawed here. Look, rationally, I know the person that did it was here before the show opened. Probably was had a personal grudge and has access to backstage areas. Right, all signs of someone in your crew. Yes. If... I feel like I know what you're going to ask. If, hypothetically, I ask you what you think could be the killer's motive... I'm afraid I'm not the best person to ask. It's your circus, though. Generally, I try to refrain from intervening too much in the interpersonal relationship, in their interpersonal relationships. From my position, I'm afraid my meddling would sometimes do more harm than good. The performance would surely be able to tell you more about about this than I could ever do. Right, so we have to interrogate them. That's basically the thing. However, whenever they will be entirely, whether they will be entirely forthcoming with you is another matter. Well, that's for me to worry about. You just need to tell me who I need to talk to. You might want to talk to the other performers and our mechanic Alice. They're the ones that knew her the best. Oh, and there's one more person you should be aware of. Jackie. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on the papers. I'm not, but I just and let him go on. Obviously, we can't announce the death yet, but we're under a lot of pressure. So I kind of came up with an idea. What sort of idea are we talking about here? I hired someone to pretend to be Hattie, at least until we get the case figured out. Wait, so you're telling me there's just a fake version of the murder victim walking around out there? Well, I told her to keep a low profile, so you shouldn't see her around too much. Well, how nice of you to remember to inform me about that, lest I see her sneaking around and assume I saw a ghost. I just thought you should be aware. And just where did you manage to find this replacement? Might this person have anything to do with the case? I looked into it and no, she wasn't anywhere near the circus at the time that I'm sure of. Okay. Alright, let's see about what happened. Can you walk me through what happened from the beginning? When did the murder take place? We arrived in Tolgi this Monday. It took most of the day to set up, so I gave everyone the rest of the day off. I had some business to deal with at the bank and I needed to meet with a few investors, so I made a trip into town. It was raining like hell that afternoon and the road got very muddy. By the time I came back, it was almost 9 PM and everyone was waiting for me. And that was when they told me Hattie was dead. One of our performers, Echo, found Hattie in the storage room. Her pulse was already gone by then. And did they call the police? I called the police later that night. Wait, so someone's dead, but they waited until you were back to contact anyone? Mr. Jones, I know it might seem strange, but you have to understand. In the circus, we are very guarded people. Most of us haven't had very pleasant interaction with law enforcement in our history either. Usually we try to resolve these matters within the community, but something like this has never happened in our group, and I was shocked and very concerned, so I insisted on calling them.
Alright, I understand. But then why hire a private investigator if the police are on it? He paused, pressing his lips together. When he spoke again, I could almost see the amount of force he used to unclench his jaw. I called them on Monday night. They showed up here the next day. They took the body. They took some photos of the scene and asked everyone a few questions. I haven't heard from them since. No updates, nothing? I called them yesterday to ask if I could have a copy of the autopsy result. They stonewalled me. Do you know why they're neglecting this case? Corruption, laziness, prejudice? I don't know, and frankly, I don't care much. In my business, you learn very quickly that you can't buy respect from those that don't have it. What you can buy, though, is solutions. And that's where I come in. And that's where you come in, yes. So, you don't have the autopsy report yet. Probably won't ever get it. That means you don't even have a clear time of death. Actually, I think the last time everyone saw her was around 5 PM. A few of my workers saw her coming out of the trailer, and no one knew where she went afterwards. It was about 7 when Echo found her. Right, so she died between 5 and 7 PM. Yeah, okay. And can we be sure these are correct? Yes, they can both be corroborated by others. You said it was raining that afternoon, correct? Do you remember when the rain started and stopped? I think it didn't start until I got to town, so about 4 o'clock. If it had already ended when I got there. And it had already ended when I got back. And how was the weather these past few days? Well, sunny days since then. Good. That gives us a pretty good window. I can ask around, see what everyone's doing during what everyone was doing during that time period. Looking for an alibi, right? It usually can't help us catch the killer, but might help rule out a few suspects. Good to know. Now, where did the murder take place? Can I go to the crime scene? Well, about that, there's actually no crime scene anymore. What? What does that even mean? Well, the day it happened, we were busy setting up the circus. Most tents weren't set up yet. The only one that we had was a small temporary tent for storage. And that's the crime scene? Yeah, and we had to take it down because the circus had to open. So we have nothing. The police did take photos of the scene. Oh, sorry. The police did take photos of the scene. Here's a copy. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Alright. Okay, that's quite an image. That knife. It's just the ones they usually use for the knife throwing performance. Are there any fingerprints on the knife? I asked that too, but no, they couldn't find any fingerprints on it. So the killer was either wearing gloves or wiped it after. Do you know how much force it would take for someone to throw the knife this deep? To be honest, I don't really pay that much attention to the way these performances are done, as long as it works. But it seems, but I've seen them start the performance by demonstrating stabbing these knives into a prop wooden board, so they're pretty sharp. Still, can't be that easy to hit the target dead center. There might be one thing you're missing. What is it? Just because this is a board for that performance and the murder weapon is the throwing knife, doesn't that mean the killer really had to throw it? No one witnessed the process. For all we know, they might have just tied her to the board, picked up the knife and stabbed into the board. You're right. I guess I might have been misled by the whole setup. Maybe that's the point. It's all just a misdirection by the killer. Or maybe there's something to the knife throwing. Some symbolic reason? I can't be sure yet. Let's see what else. So it's just her body, I guess. So it's the wound. It's okay. Her hair is a little messy, but overall the room and her clothing look pretty tidy. Was there bleeding from the wrists where they were bound by the ropes? No, I don't think so. And were there any visible wounds other than the knife? Not that I know of. If it was clearly visible, I would have noticed.
No trauma on the head or the neck? No? What are you thinking?
Well, there's no sign of a struggle in the scene. If she tried to fight back, it would have at least messed up this room and her dress a bit more. So either she was unconscious, or she agreed to be bound for some reason. I thought maybe someone got the jump on her by hitting her on the head or the neck, but that seems not to be the case. I control the urge to reach for the back of my head. Different MO then. Alright, I'll note it down. What is that board?
That's an act we do. It's Harriet's signature performance, the knife throwing trick. Someone would be tied to the board, just like this, and she'd throw the knives on the board, never missing once. The crowds love it.
Well, could this be a practice gone wrong, maybe?
There's just one problem with that. Hattie's the one throwing the knife, not the one being tied up. It doesn't make sense why she'd be up there.
Do you know if anyone else in the circus is a trained knife thrower?
That's the thing that baffles me. As far as I know, the only one that could do it was Hattie. But obviously, she couldn't have done it. She couldn't have done this to herself. If you have questions about the act, you could ask Aideen about it. She's our fire performer. She's also usually Hattie's partner. Hattie's partner on the knife throwing performance.
Must take an incredible amount of trust for you to be tied there while someone is throwing knives at you.
They were pretty close too.
Right. What is that board? Okay, so that's okay. I clicked by mistake. Okay, so maybe Aideen would be the one to ask. Alright, looks like I need to find this Aideen later. So that's the body, that's the board. That's the knife. Now, what about this? What's that mirror doing there?
It's the storage room. They probably just placed it there when they were moving everything from the train.
So the placement is not intentional?
I don't believe so. Although
what?
Well, sometimes I've seen performers using it to practice for their performance. I've heard it's good to observe yourself.
And the mirror is in the exact right position for the knife thrower to be looking at his or her own reflection. So it could be adding to the practice gone wrong theory.
Is that what you think?
I can't make any conclusions yet. The mirror, is it there coincidentally? Is it placed for practice? For some kind of twisted enjoyment? There's no way to know. Alright, I think that's all I need to ask about the photo.
Okay then, you can keep the photo.
Oh, thank you.
I just have one request.
What is it?
Please don't show it to people unless it's for a good reason. She was their friend after all, and I'd hope to spare as many of them from seeing that as I can. Right. If you have any other questions about the photo, you can come back and ask me.
Of course. Alright, I think I'm all caught up now. Do we have a time frame about when I need to solve the case?
Well, the circus is leaving tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, we were scheduled to stay here for a week. Hattie was found dead on Monday, and I called you on Wednesday. This is the last day we have here. Once we close out the big performance tonight, we need to pack up overnight and get on the train to the next stop.
It's already 10, so I have what, 12 hours to solve a murder case?
Sorry, but I really can't delay anything. The circus's future performances are all scheduled.
Well, I should say sorry for my tardiness.
When I called your office, you already informed me it's going to take a few days. It's unfortunate, but we can only work with the circumstances we have.
Well, I respect that mentality.
The big show starts at 7, and we'll probably wrap up sometime around 10. The train will start leaving sections, so all of us will be gone before midnight.
That means any witness or evidence I could possibly have will all be gone before midnight.
You haven't seen a circus performance before, have you? You walk into the tent at 7, and by the time you walk out after 2 or 3 hours of performances, everything else but the big top will be gone. Disappear. I've seen people compare it to magic before.
Sort of like a Circus Cinderella situation, huh?
Well, when you put it that way.
Well, it seems like time is short and we must get to work. I'll need anything and everything you can give me about this case. I might also need to talk to some of your people. Of course, of course. And if they ever manage to send over the autopsy results, I'll let you know as soon as possible. I'll give everyone a heads up about you being here, and you can talk to anyone working here. But it's a show day, so they might have responsibilities that keep them busy at times. Sorry about that. Oh, and there's one more thing. What else? Well, this is a circus, and there are certain trade secrets we have to protect. What does that mean? It means that there are certain areas only available to members of the circus, and I'd prefer if you stay that way. Wait, you are a detective, yet you still want to keep all of your secrets? Not all of them, just the stable and backstage are off limits. And do not go barging into people's private rooms on the train, they tend to be very territorial. I'm beginning to think you don't even want me to solve this case. Look, Mr. Jones, I'm going to be completely honest with you for a second. Hattie is dead, and there's nothing I can do to change that, including catching who did it. The tension is high in the circus, and the best thing I can do is to keep things running as usual and maintain a sense of normalcy for my folks. I've been through enough goodbyes to know that the last thing you want at times like this is everything else changing too. So yes, of course I care about solving the case. I wouldn't have called you otherwise. But I do care about it more than keeping. But do I care more about than keeping the circus running and everyone from falling apart? No. Well, you're the client. I'll work within the restrictions. Can't guarantee how much they'll impede the work though. That's all I ask for. I know the conditions are difficult. Just do your best. I always do. And that was everyone. That was the very abrupt ending of the quite beefy, I gotta say, a prototype, early demo version of Death Trick Double Blind. So in the full release, right, you're gonna have 12 hours. You're gonna have to be very careful as to who you ask, what you ask, how you manage your time in order to find enough information to rule out suspects, and maybe to use the information that you get both from Jackie and Jones in order to solve the case. Because I'm guessing that's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna talk at any point in time, right? If Jackie and Jones are gonna talk, but at the very least, you being the player and having both perspectives, right, and getting information from from both characters and their interactions, their individual interactions, should help you solve the case, faster or more conclusively. But that was everyone. For now, that was it. I mean, the game looks great. It's a very interesting concept. I definitely want to see more and how, because this is kind of like maybe a tutorial phase, right? You get introduced to the first two characters and to some of the all of the mechanics, I guess. But yeah, it would things would precipitate after this, I'm guessing. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. If you're interested in this one, in this prototype, I mean, you can check it out on niche.io. And yeah, just I mean, I don't think it's available on Steam yet, but find it on Steam when it's available and whistle it, because and this looks really cool. This is like it's going to be a really cool game, and I definitely want to see the plot. And I want to talk to the other characters and see what's going on and find Hattie's murderer. But that was everyone. That was Death Trick Double Blind, the early prototype. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like what I do here, subscribe. Check out the back catalog. Check out YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, because I'm on all those platforms, and you can discover tons and tons, thousands actually, of cool games if you check out the back catalog. And after you do that, please take just half a minute to see the ways to which you can support me so I can continue doing gaming coverage and more for a very long time. The best way to support me is to join my locals community at cryptichybrid.locals.com. You can become a member there for free, it doesn't cost a thing, and as a member you get access to all the public posts, and you get a free game upon sign up, and again, doesn't cost one thing, right? Or the alternative to becoming a member, you can become a supporter. Now that costs $4 a month, but for those $4 a month, you get tons of perks. Of course, you get a free game on sign up, and you also get early access to videos. You get support-only live streams. You get to decide what I play every Monday on live stream. You get behind-the-scenes content. You get to ask questions for future interviews that I do, future development interviews that I do. You'll be the first to know who I interview and when, and you can submit your questions to be asked during those interviews. You also participate in game giveaways as a supporter, and you can request topics, any topic from any walk of life that I would have to discuss either in a regular live stream or a supporter only stream. So again, all those perks, just $4 a month, and you know, by being a supporter, you help you help keep going this channel and all my endeavors under Cryptic Hybrid umbrella, which at this point means, you know, four channels basically, right? YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and well over 3,600 gameplay videos like this one, developer interviews, and live streams. Thank you again everyone for watching. This has been Deathtrick Double Blind, and until the next time we see each other, have an awesome day. Show must go on.